And we are back for top tier. There's going to be no cut in this video for top 10. We are going through the whole thing. Top tier, 21 characters, the best ones in the game. Let's go. Starting off in the top tier is actually a character I have not put top tier in a long time. And if I put it to top 20, he would simply not be still. We're talking Diddy Kong. Diddy Kong, in my opinion, very strong character, right? Obviously, Tweak does amazing with the character. There's also results from Duo in Japan. I think there are other Japanese Diddy Kongs, but I can't remember them at the moment. I don't know if there are any European Diddy Kongs. And then you have like Dakpo in the States, even though Dakpo switched to box, his results have been not as good. But Diddy is just, I think Diddy is overrated. I think people are not good at this matchup. And even when they are good at the matchup, obviously Tweak is an amazing player, so having a top 5 player in the world pilot your character, gonna look good regardless of what's going on. But hey, Luigi is top 5, is like Raru's top 5 right now. He does super well, and he's over here. So that happens. It's just kind of what happens in this game. Oh yeah, Aaron, thank you. I was like, there's a very obvious one. I forgot Beastly. Oh yeah, Beastly, let's go. But yeah, I think Diddy Kong is a very solid character, but I do think there is a lot of counterplay that people don't do versus the character, whether it's the edge guarding, knowing how to deal with monkey flip. Again, it's a Smash 4 experience diff a lot of the times. It's like, oh yeah, I know how to deal with banana monkey flip mix-ups. And if you just camp at the very corner, Diddy Kong will, if you have a projectile, obviously, then like Diddy Kong can't get like banana forward smash because you just fall off of the stage onto the ledge, which is pretty good. I do think obviously a great number of things are amazing about him. He has great ledge trapping in general, because you have banana to put on the ground. Not great ledge trapping, but like pretty solid ledge trapping, good advantage. He's very fast, and then he has a very rinse repeat game plan with banana, which is obviously going to be very good. But I just think there are, I think at this point, like everyone's broken. I just think there are characters better than him. Speaking of characters that are broken, but just also normally fundamentally solid, and that is going to be Mario. Mario has a ton of good players. Kurama and Dark Wizzy have not been entering as much or performing as well, but then you got Snow from Japan, and there are also, I think Navy also plays Mario. I could be wrong about that. I know there's at least one more Mario in Japan, but I forget. Oh, Ron's Mario when he decides to go Mario. This character is crazy. Fireball is broken. He has a great recovery. He has great out of shield options. He kills you from literally anywhere all the time. He has ladder combos. He has non-ladder combos. He has a good spike, good edge guarding, the ability to deal with projectiles very easily with cape. I don't think he has any like bad matchups. Ludo and Now. Yeah, Now's the one I'm thinking of. Thank you. And yeah, Dominator's been doing very well too. So like Mario has a lot of results and a lot of reps, and he's just crazy in my opinion. I don't really understand the flaw of this character besides he doesn't have range, but like who cares? Who cares if he doesn't have range? Also doesn't have range Game & Watch. Broken Game & Watch. It's fine. Yeah, I just think that like Mario just has all the tools, and I don't think he has worse than a -1 matchup in the game, except maybe Shulk. But again, there's 2 of them. It doesn't matter. I think what keeps Mario up here is the fact that Snow has beat Akala, has beat Tease Kazuya, has beat Sonics. Hasn't beat Mia. Oh no, he has beat Mia. So he's beating all these matchups are playable. You just have to be very good and do very studied counterplay. Whereas I feel like Dark Wizzy didn't really study like that. He just kind of played the game off of feel. And Kurama focused on combos and advantage more than matchups specifically, at least from me watching it. So yeah, I think he just does really, really well overall. I mean, one of the worst matchups is like Ice Climbers. But yeah, I think just does really well overall into a lot of the top tiers, and like even if you're barely losing, it's Mario, you can just win anyway because you're Mario. How do the numbers work for matchups? So -1 is slight loss, -2 is like significant, a losing matchup, just like a solid loss. -3 is like a big loss, and -4 is unwinnable. Next up, we have a character that I hate. He's the character I hate the most in the game now. It's not Game & Watch. This is already on the tier list. It's Pac-Man. I hate this guy. Die. That's my whole thing. No, I think Pac-Man is insane. I think there are also a good amount of Pac-Man players. You have T, obviously, with Pac-Man. You have JDV. You have, who's the one I lost to at Genesis that one year? I forget his name. Oh my God, Rocky. I don't know if and there's also Modzai and Etoile from Europe. I think they're both French, actually, so they're both from France. This character's nuts. He does so much damage. He can stall out the game. There are a lot of characters that can't deal with Hydrant, so he just automatically wins. He has a great recovery. He has a very consistent, again, similar to Diddy Kong game plan of just like, I'm going to get my thing. I'm going to get my thing. I'm going to get my thing. It's just, he's crazy. There's also like people like, E-King. That's literally just his whole tag is E-King. Yeah, there are just enough Pac-Man players that like do pretty well that it's just like, I don't understand why people think this character's bad. No one can ever tell me why this character's bad. They're just like, oh, but like you just have to do this like, dark arts ritual and then understand every single thing, and also you're fine. I'm just like, what? Yeah, this character's just nuts, does too much damage, has great out of shield option, has great ledge trapping, amazing traps. He's just really good. He's just really solid, and I don't understand why people think this character's not great. When he has just like everything you would ever need to win, and then you have like the forward smash of God. Like, literally the forward smash of God. Olimar vs. Cloud -4. No, it's -2. It's just really hard at top level because the best player in the world is the Cloud player. Next up is a character that is very split when it comes to their strength, the perception of their strength in Japan and America. No, we're not talking about Pikachu. You think Pikachu's not going to be in top 10? You're crazy. We're going Yoshi, baby. Japan thinks this character is broken because you have Yoshidora, Ron, and Fui. I feel like I'm missing a fourth. I feel like there's a fourth one that I'm not thinking of at the moment. Whereas this character basically only succeeds in Japan. Pharaoh is good in the US as well. You obviously had Suarez back in the day and Raptor back in the day. But really it's Pharaoh and Japan, which is kind of rough. I do think this character is absolutely insane. Has one of the best disadvantage tools in the entire game with double jump. You have great air mobility, you have amazing combos, crazy damage output, you have down air for disadvantage, which if you don't have a sword, you're just gonna have to take it and take a bunch of shield damage. He has crazy killing with up air and back air. He has crazy kill confirms because he has like things like fair up air or nair fair off stage. He has egg confirms, he can go out there. He has a pretty good matchup with the top tiers in my opinion. I know he does well versus, I think he does well versus Fox, I could be wrong about that. But he does really well in a lot of matchups. He has some losing matchups like Samus that can be pretty rough, but I feel like overall he does fine. Yoshidora has taken sets off of Aquila, and also I believe versus Mia, so definitely, and I know Ron's beat Mia, I'm pretty sure, so like the character can beat the super top tier characters in this game. I think also has a fine matchup versus Sonic. It's probably not good, but it's fine. Double jump armor, obviously frame 1 gets out of anything you want. You know, he has good edge guarding, he has great juggling, he has great chasing. There's basically nothing wrong with this character. He's just not super insanely broken like some other characters. He's also heavy, so it's nice. Does Yoshi beat Snake? I think it's even. These next two characters are characters that are fundamentally solid, and people look at you weird when you don't put them in top 10, but then you look at the top 10 characters and you go, that's kind of crazy. We're talking first, Palutena. Obviously, Palutena has an amazing set of tools. You have some of the best aerials in the game, amazing speed, great disadvantage, great empty jump, just good stats in general, good edge guard, well, fine edge guarding, one of the best 2 frames in the game in terms of down tilt. You have invincible moves in dash attack and back air, but the thing about Palu is, again, similar to like Wolf, right? Where it's like you have to play the player all the time. Do you have amazing tools for, you know, dealing with that, like up air and forward air? Yeah, you have all the tools, but Palu like doesn't have ground moves. Like run up jab is your best ground move, which is bad for like neutral. So you don't have the ability to stay on the ground a lot. I mean, you can grab, but like it's really, really hard. She also doesn't have great out of shield options. By great, I mean she has like kind of meh out of shield options. And it's really hard for her to stay consistent, which is why the Palus are up and down, right? Like Luis will do really well at Don't Park on the Grass and then get like 33rd at Genesis, which isn't even a fault to him. Again, I got 65th. I'm not talking shit. It's just hard. And there's a lot of matchups that can be really, really scary. Especially because there are some characters that just right? Like even the matchups that you win, right? Like you win versus Kazuya. Kazuya just electrics one of your back airs before it comes out. Oh, you die, right? You have to play so solid to win with Palu. Even if the character is very good, you still have to be super fundamentally solid, which is hard to do when the people above you are also playing fundamentally solid and then are playing God. And I know she's a goddess, but you know, no pun intended. Next up is another character that's a little bit more cheater than Palutena, but at the same time has worse lows. We're talking about Aegis. Again, crazy insane character, the damage output of God, the killing of God when you're Pyra, but this character is the one up here with the worst recovery by far, in my opinion, by far. You are very susceptible off stage. You cannot double jump in neutral. There are so many times that Aegis players just die, even though sometimes they just up air you 17 times and you can't do anything about it, but Aegis is one of those characters that is very susceptible to tournament nerves and tournament issues. Again, is she a very strong character? Yeah, this is 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16. Top 16 is still very good in this game. If you want to put her at 10, the 16th and the 10th best character on my list are very close together, in my opinion. So I think it's just a little hard to super be consistent with this character, which is why every Aegis player not named Cosmos has a secondary. And even Cosmos, I think, plays Corrin now because she's just scary to do it alone. She's scary. When people are reading your neutral, it becomes really, really hard to succeed with her. She's a much better secondary than she is a main, in my opinion. And if you're a better secondary than you are a main, you can't be top 10. Sparkle was the only one who did really good at solo Aegis. Yeah, and then he stopped doing solo Aegis because he decided Cloud's better. Next up, we have Joker. This character obviously is seeing a resurgence because Leo's doing really well. I think Leo is insanely good, and I think Joker is insanely good, but I just think characters above have very simple game plans. I feel like Joker is, again, similar to Palu, not quite the same, but similar to Palu, has to like play a very normal game plan. You have crazy tools, right? It's really, really good. You have Leo, you have Omega, you have Goryoka. There's plenty of Jokers that are doing really well, especially Leo. Again, I'm very happy he's doing better, but I just think this character isn't as insane as the characters above. I don't feel like he has a very obvious win con, because his main win con of Arsene is also his biggest lose con, because you get Arsene when you're off stage and then you get edge guarded. Or you lose it and you don't have the ability to do that. Leo is Joker. Joker just doesn't get the kills that are necessary, and also I think he struggles against a lot of the top tiers. Not all the top tiers. He beats Joker, or he beats Game & Watch, I think, or at the very least Leo's got at that matchup, so maybe it's even. I don't know. But like, he does fine versus the top tiers. It's just he's not as insanely broken as the top tiers, and you still have to like get a bunch of big reads and a bunch of outplays in order to win with this character against, again, like a Steve spamming back air. What do you do against Steve spamming back air as Arsene? Like, even as Arsene, like, your back air's worse. You can't, like, it's hard, right? You have to find your really hard to find spots, and they are findable. Again, Joker's a very good character, but he's just not super broken in my opinion. Next up, we have a character that I don't think, like, even though they went down in this list, I don't think they got worse. There has just been a resurgence of this character's absolute worst matchup, and we are going Samus. Samus, in my opinion, has all the crazy things that I mentioned before. She has one of the most simple and obvious win conditions in the game because she has the best ledge trapping in the game. She has good out of shield options, fantastic neutral, such a scary character to play. She has some losing matchups that are quite bad, such as Falco and Min Min. Those aren't that much of an issue, though. You can play those. Olimar is unwinnable. It's not -4, but it actually might be -3. It's legitimately one of the worst matchups in the game, especially when it comes to top tier versus top tier, or top tier versus anyone type of matchup in terms of losing. And there are now 5 to 7 good Olimars, so it is a lot more likely that the Samus players are running into Olimars at tournaments, therefore the character's worse. That's straight up it. That's the only thing that happened, is Olimars got better, because Kando got better, Dabuz started playing Olimar again, Uame and Noi have been doing very well as Olimar. It's just really hard, but when Samus gets her game going, she is obnoxious, she's hard to juggle, she is hard to edgeguard, she juggles really well, she edgeguards really well, she edge traps really well. This character does so much damage for no reason, has a billion kill confirms. This character's nuts. This character's so stupid, but Olimar destroys her. So like, and then also you still lose to Game & Watch and Steve, which is like hard. Has a good matchup for Sonic though, in my opinion, but like you lose to like 2 of the top 3, and then you also like just get destroyed by Olimar. I think Falco's fine. I think you know, Bayo's fine. I think that Min Min is fine. Like, they're losing, but they're fine. But then Olimar is just so bad. There's not much Olimars. There's literally more Olimars for top level representation. There are more Olimars than I think any other character besides Steve. Next up is a character that I feel like people overrate. And by overrate, I mean really overrate. Even though he's still top tier, I think people are insane for thinking this character is like, so many people think he's top 5. We got Snake. I don't know why people think this character is top 5. It is insane. I mean, Hurt's really good. A lot of Snake players are very good. It is insane to me that people think this character is top 5 when he has the disadvantage he does, and he has the lack of combos and frame data that he does. People just run into shit. No one knows this matchup, I swear to God. Like, he has so many losing matchups, he has so many struggle matchups, and he has so many things that are difficult for him. Obviously, he can also make comebacks, and he can also just up tilt you at 85, and he's gonna win. But I just think this character struggles a lot harder than people realize. I don't know why. I feel like so many people are just like, yeah, this is hard for me. And then they're just like, or like, the Snake players would be like, this matchup's hard for me. And then they just like win anyway, which like that happens, right? Snake I don't think has any like unwinnable matchups. There's definitely, he's a fluid enough character that he has a bunch of stuff, but again, like everything he has is unsafe on shield when you don't have grenade, and that seems crazy to me. You can just hit him. You can just out of shield him as like every character in the game. It's crazy. Apollo Cug and Hurt thinks he has 3 losing matchups. It's like 10 losing matchups. Down tilt's basically safe because he low profits. That's the only one. Do you see Snakes only using down tilt? No, they use people will get up tilted on shield and try to shield grab. Whereas every single character in the game, maybe not every character in the game, but I'm pretty sure almost every character in the game, good or bad, can add a shield Snake's up tilt, and they simply don't. He loses matchups, but you're never going to need to Inkling or Gunner or Mega Man. It's not the same as losing hard to Steve. He loses to Steve. He loses to Steve. He loses to Game Watch. He loses to Sonic. Those are the 3 most common characters and the best characters in the game. He loses the 3 main matchups in this game, and then he loses to a bunch of other characters in top tier. And also, even if he doesn't lose, you can just kill him at 60. He does not lose to Steve. I think people saying that Snake doesn't lose to Steve don't know how Steve works. You just keep mining, you get diamond forever. Does he lose 10 matchups? I think Snake loses maybe more than 10 matchups. Again, personally, right? Obviously, I'm not a Snake player, but I'm very good against Snake. So I think Snake loses to Samus, Fox, Incin, Inkling, Joker, Mega Man, Brawler, Gunner, Min Min, Game & Watch, Palu, Aegis, Olimar, Ness, this is 14, Sonic, Steve, Zero Suit had a Snake lose against Ensign. You can't grenade, ever. Falco or Ryu possibly. I don't think Ryu, but Falco maybe. Like, that's the thing, and then there's a bunch of Ian matchups. It's crazy. But yeah, I just think Snake has like a way worse matchup start than people think. Of course, like, he's able to just like grenade and be clever and do stuff, so he's still good, right? Like, if you say a character loses 17 matchups, you would think he'd be like an upper mid tier. Because I think Sheik probably loses less matchups than that. But like, Snake's still really good. Most of those are -1 and like very doable. This character is probably one of the biggest buffed characters overall, and by buffed, I mean players got really good and does too much damage. Bayo. The Bayos are just doing too well, right? You have Lima, who's insane. Like, the Bayo players are starting to win their bad matchups. They have amazing wins against some of the best players in the world. They have consistent out of shield damage. Witch time is crazy. Timing out with this character is insane. You can't advantage this character ever because she has frame 1 air dodge. She has witch time. She just goes to ledge. The only, I feel like, consistent way to beat this character is by like a couple of matchups. Ironically, Snake, even though I was just talking crap about him, Snake is very good at this matchup. Or like timing her out, which is super hard because she does a bunch of damage. She does so much damage. Why does she do so much damage? And they're starting to get so good at their kill confirms, and they're starting to get good at witch striking, which is like the single hit uppies that you can't SDI. This character is stupid. Character's insane. It's so crazy. I just think it's so hard to like fight against Bayo if you're not like also God. Like, I don't know what bad characters Bayo does not do well against. I feel like she just eliminates so many characters from like contention and like fights that like I don't know what to do. I mean, I know what to do. I played 2 good matchups against her, right? Like, Pico wins, Brawler wins, in my opinion, or at the very least they're even. But like, so it's fine. But like, what do you do if you're a normal character? Like, what do you do if you're a normal character? That's insane. I genuinely don't know. Yeah, like, her advantage state is insane, and her disadvantage is, like, it's probably the best, maybe second best disadvantage in the game. And now we are 1 character away from the top 10, and this is a little clump, in my opinion. I don't want to spoil it, so I'm not going to say what the clump is, but first off, we are going to have Roy. I think Roy is an insanely good character. You obviously have Cola doing very well. Alice has been doing really good in Japan. I think this character does very well versus meta overall. I think he does solid versus most of the characters. He has an unfortunately losing matchup to Pika, but there's 2 of us, so it doesn't matter. I think this character is just insane. Like, he does so much damage. His killing is ridiculous. His edge trapping is so scary. His advantage overall is just so strong that even if he has a slightly worse disadvantage, because his recovery is a little bit exploitable, it's only exploitable by characters that really have projectiles, or like Joker specifically. So yeah, I think that Roy is just, it's so scary to just be fighting Roy at basically all times. Like, again, I'm trying to take my bias out of it because Pikachu is like Roy's first matchup. But yeah, I think it's really, really hard to deal with everything Roy has. There's preemptive DI that you can do to kind of get away from stuff, but then you're still like in bad spots, or you get sour spot, and then you just get edge trapped forever, and then he reads your roll and F tilts you. It doesn't matter. Like, he's so scary. He kills so consistently. Cole is crazy. Goblin's crazy. Alice is crazy. And with that, we are officially in the top 10. And I know you may be thinking, hey, ESAM, Cloud's not top 10. It's just Spargo being really good. No, Cloud's crazy. His recovery is so hard to actually deal with. People aren't messing up anymore, right? Like, for a long time, I was like, man, people are just messing up edge guarding him. There's just so many ways to do that people aren't doing, right? I'm clearly like one of the most, I'm one of the people, if not the person that values edge guarding the most, definitely like top 3, right? You don't edgeguard this character unless he doesn't have a double jump, because his up B snap is too far. He has too many mix-ups to get edgeguarded. And then, of course, his neutral is insane. I don't care that every other Cloud kind of sucks, except for, like, it's literally Spargo and it's Cola secondary Cloud. I don't care that it's just them. It doesn't matter. There's 2 Game & Watch players, and he's super broken. There's 2 Pika players. I think the character's messed up. It doesn't matter. This character is so strong. He does such consistent damage. He has some of the best edge trapping in the game. He has some of the best juggling in the game that is like uncontestable. You can't contest Bear at ledge. You can't contest up air when you're trying to land on it. It's literally impossible. So you get 1 hit as Cloud, which, by the way, the opening hit does so much damage. You hit like fair cross slash, that does like 35 or 37%. It doesn't matter. There's more than 2 Game Watches. Sorry, there's 3. Because it's also Monty. Like, every bad matchup, quote unquote, that Cloud has is a matchup that you just ledge trap them anyway, or you can ledge trap them. He ledge traps Pika! That's not cool. Pikachu doesn't get ledge trapped by like anyone. It's literally Samus and Cloud and like Fox, and that's it. But yeah, he has like top 5 ledge trapping in the game, especially when he has limit, because you just like get access to limit cross slash. Or not limit cross slash, limit up B. I haven't even talked about limit yet. Limit makes his recovery one of the best in the game. It also makes his edge guarding crazy good, right? It is so hard to get around the edge guarding when he has limit, because he has a giant sword. It's a giant sword. It's a giant -3 sword, and then he has empty jump cross slash and empty jump grab. And yes, is Spargo amazing? Is he the best player in the world? Absolutely. But this character's crazy. You can't be the best player in the world with a bad character. It does not happen. Are there maybe some matchups that are a little bit bad? Sure. Did he lose to Zachary? Yeah. But at the same time, who the fuck plays Pit? I don't fucking know. Like, again, McCloud doesn't destroy everyone in the game. He doesn't just like absolutely demolish every character, but he does so much consistent damage with with the best move in neutral in the game. Cloud back air, maybe second best move in neutral in the game. Cloud back air is the top 2 move in neutral, the other one's being Steve back air. Those are the 2 best neutral moves in the game because of their range and their power and their damage. It's his kill move, it is his neutral move, it is so hard to deal with, and yeah, if you get a read on Cloud, then you can start parrying everything, but he doesn't have to back air. He doesn't have to back air. He just doesn't. Like, he has too many good moves. He has like, and then his up smash is crazy. It's one of the better killing up smashes. You can just hit people on platforms with it. You can up B at a shield. There's just so much you can do with this character, and like, there's just the flaws of this character are so limited because he has so many mix-ups. And again, you are so worried about being wrong on the edge guard that a lot of people just don't. And then he has like some of the best reversals in the game, like, you know, best mashing reversals in the game. You can't mess with Cloud down air. You can't. If you didn't catch him before he drifted away from you when he's facing away from you, you can't like deal with falling away from you back air. It's literally impossible. It's literally impossible. This character is insanely good. Like, I don't know why people don't think this character is broken. And I'm people. I didn't think this character was broken. I was stupid and wrong and bald, okay? I'm bald and wrong and stupid. I'm bald and wrong and stupid, and that's okay. We can be bald and wrong and stupid. And you may be able to tell the theme now of this 3-character clump. We got Corrin, who in my opinion is still the best sword character in the game. This character's dumb. She does too much damage in combos. She, again, has crazy edge trapping because she has back air and pin and nair and F smash. She has probably better juggling than Cloud because you have up air, which is better than Cloud's up air. And you also have up air into landing nair. You have really great landing aerials. You have pin, which is insane for neutral. You have pin for 2-framing. You have full hop pin. You have back air, which is insane. The character's mobility is a little low, which is definitely not great. But at the same time, they have a frame, 8 dash shield, which is tied for the best in the game with Sheik, so a lot of her dashes are non-committal, which means she gets to take free space that even Cloud doesn't get to do. He has to like jump and commit early. The lack of dash speed is actually good in this instance. She has great reversals, right? She has nair, she has up air, she has back air, she has down air if you really need it. She has a counter on specific like recoveries and stuff. Her ledge trapping is just insane, and her neutral is very good. Again, it's not like broken. Does she struggle with a couple characters? Yeah. Is Shattuck doing slightly worse? Yeah. He got dropped from his team and is focusing on school. Give the kid a break. Like, I just think that Corrin is insane. Again, I had Corrin in my top 10 last tier list as well. She's just insane. She's just so good, and she kills so consistently and so early. Has a kill throw, has, again, crazy juggling and ledge trapping. That's just like, you never are comfortable fighting this character because you're like, I'm at 0, everything's fine. Oh man, I got hit by like the landing fair or an air. I took 1 billion damage. Now I'm at the ledge. I got hit by back air. Fuck, I might die to pin 2-frame. Fuck, I might die to forward smash. Oh, okay, actually I died up and in, so I didn't get 2-framed. I have to deal with up air. Oh, I got hit by fair back air. I died at 80. That's so crazy. Character's nuts. Character's so good. Clearly top 10 in my opinion. It's crazy to me that more people don't play this character, myself included. I should play this character. And next up, we have the character with the worst results of the rest of the list. We got Mii Brawler, baby. Broken. I don't care. There are 1 billion Mii Brawler players that are all pretty good. None of them are super top players, right? The number 1 Mii Brawler being Kid. Apple Reviewer is also very good. Yeast has got a lot of upsets. I don't play Brawler in tournaments because I never get Brawler brackets anymore. Character's crazy. He has some of the dumbest combos in the game that are very easy. He has some of the most consistent kill confirms. He has probably the second most consistent kill confirms in the game behind Sonic, because he just like down throw uppies or nair uppies or up air uppies. He has so many variants of kill confirms that are like actually pretty easy. This character's nuts. I just think that a traditional top player does not play the character, because if I feel like if I just didn't play Pikachu, who's better than this, but if I didn't play Pikachu, my Brawler would be nasty. But it's all just like new up-and-coming players that play Brawler, and that's it. Like, they're all newer up-and-coming players, and it's not Steve, so you don't win majors. But Brawler's pretty good. I just think that he's like, he does so much damage, and his dash attack's amazing. He has a command grabber. He has a move that goes half the stage. He has a pretty good recovery. He has decent edge guarding. He has one of the best down airs for 2-framing in the game. He has like a top 5 or 7 strong F smash that also you can combo into it, by the way, with 2 different moves. You can get nair F smash and up air F smash, and also 2-frames, by the way. He has good 2-framing with down tilt and up tilt into up B. You can also use, of course, heli kick. If you want, heli kick's also good, right? It kills you off the side. It's very consistent. Landing nair combos into heli kick for like ever. I think Brawler's just insane. There's also SD kills that you can get with suplex. you know, you can't land on him on platform if you are playing against one that is playing suplex, because you just get suplex and it does 21 damage. But like Osh9 is doing really well, Apple Reviewer is doing well, Reese is doing really well. All the Brawler players are doing very well, and he has a very solid matchup spread. The only issue, the reason he's not higher, is because in my opinion he loses to Sonic pretty bad, but also I only play that matchup online, so I don't know how it is offline. I genuinely don't. He's just insane. This is a scary character, very scary character. There's no one in the world that's like, Mii Brawler, I'm fine. Because even the bad matchups for Brawler, right? Like Cloud is pretty bad. And then like, again, not to be just like, I'm super good, but like I was able to beat Spargo the day, again, not in tournament. I was able to beat him 3-2 the day that he won Supernova. I got 65th. That's crazy. You know, like I think this character is just insane. He has a couple losing matchups, but I think they're all very doable. And he just blows you up, right? Like, could people ledge camp against him more? Yeah, but also his ledge trapping is like probably top 10 or so in the game, because he has dash attack, he has nair, he has, of course, if you get like the read, you get down throw thrupper, you get forward smash, you get like a lot of good stuff, whatever's out of shields. Frame 3 up B if you run thrupper, frame 6 nair, frame 7 or 8 up B if you run heli kick. And I know you may be thinking, hey, ESAM, why is Brawler better than Mario? It's because he's a fast faller, so he's able to do empty jumps. And also his nair is better, and his approaches are generally better. And also, he does all the combos that Mario does. They're maybe slightly harder for Brawler, but he does more of them and more consistent kills. And then he has throw move into kill move. Throw move into kill move, very good. You wanted the last character that had throw move into kill move? Down throw up tilt, technically. Brawler's not better than Fox? No, Fox is broken. Fox is unfortunately super broken. But before we get Fox, we have Peach. Peach is one of the most fluid characters in the game. She is super difficult, but her difficulty is rewarded in spades because she breaks the rules of the game because of float. I really think that Peach is rewarded so much. You can't play Smash Bros against Peach. You have to play very weird, very counterintuitive counterplay against Peach. And does she have a couple bad matchups that are a little bit awkward? Yeah. For sure. Like, there are definitely some struggle matchups for Peach, but also then she hits you and does 1,000,000,000% for no reason. She has like 0 to 80s and 0 to that's, and Turnip is crazy, and it's a broken projectile. She also has good edge guarding and not great ledge trapping, fine ledge trapping, but also she has like a really, not a good disadvantage, but like it's hard to advantage her because she has float. So if you ever commit, she just floats and then fast falls, and you have to be ready all the time for everything. Flow's just insane. It's such a stupid mechanic. It's like so strong. She has a counter for projectiles if you really need them. It's hard to approach her. It's hard to out of shield her because she has great footstool out of shield, because she has footstool out of shield into turnip stuff, or footstool out of shield just into like weak nair dash attack or weak nair bear or strong nair if you're a death percent. It doesn't matter. There's plenty of Peach players that are very good as well. It's not just Mudace, right? Even though Mudace is the premier Peach at this point. Love that guy. But you got Mudace, you got Ling, you got Umeki, you got Ki. You have Yalmanac from, I don't actually know where Yalmanac's from, but they're pretty good. Float is crazy. I think this character has a ton of amazing tools. The only problem is this character can't kill sometimes, but then also you kill it 70 sometimes. So like, she has the tools to beat every character. Ironically, she has like mediocre matchups versus some mid tiers, but again, they're not super common, so it doesn't matter. Where would Peach be without float? Peach without float is probably like here. And I said I would get back to it, but we are going with Fox for right outside of top 5. This character's nuts. He has some of the easiest and most consistent damage in the game with just upper, upper, upper. His dash attack is the best burst option in the game by far, in my opinion. He has great damage. He has amazing mix-ups. He has the most unreactable empty jump in the game, so you literally can't react to it. He has plenty of mix-ups in terms of nair and landing down air, and also empty jump jab, and also empty jump grab. And people are like, oh, well, just like take the grab versus Foxy. His grabs are so bad. He gets you off stage, and then he ledge traps you with the second best ledge trapping in the game, in my opinion, behind Samus. Maybe the best ledge trapping in the game, low key. His dash attack is crazy for it. He consistently just hits you with nair off stage. Light is just hitting people off stage at 40 and then ledge trapping them until death percent, and then getting nair up smash on the roll read. That shit's crazy. Fox is insane. You can't even say, oh, but just like the results bait. Like, Light is so good right now. He's beating everyone that's not named Sparkle. He's beating the bad matchups of Game & Watch, and he beat Shiny Mark, so he beats the Pikachus. You know, Fox also has uniquely good matchups versus characters that are generally very good, like Bayonetta and Fox. But yeah, like Fox just has some of the best ledge trapping in the game. He has such consistent killing, and even if it's like, oh, but like if he can't get the nair up smash, he doesn't get the kill. He just ledge traps you. He just empty jump grabs you, which is unreactable. You literally have to guess. Which, by the way, you're risking getting nair up smashed or nair dash tag up air or nair into something on the platform. He's just insane. It's just so crazy. I don't understand what you're supposed to do versus this character if you don't play like Pika or Pichu. Because those matchups, or like Luigi, those matchups are bad. But like at the same time, you beat Shiny Mark, so I don't know. Like, I think this character is just insanely good. Such insanely strong kill potential. It is always scary because you are never comfortable versus this character because he either does a billion damage on platforms or on stages, or he edge traps you for 1,000,000,000%. And again, Fox's ledge trapping is broken and uncontestable for most characters. It's where Light has been getting a ton of his damage and his kills. And again, Light is a very good ledge trapper, like as a player as well. It's not just Fox, but Fox is insanely good at it. It's so stupid. Like, I don't know what people think the issue is. Like, it's like, oh, but Game Watch is so bad. He's literally won the last like 3 sets versus Mia. Shut up. And like, again, he does, like, again, so apparently the Game Watch matchup is fine. The Steve matchup, similarly, like, it's losing, but it's fine. And then he beats Sonic. He's one of the only characters that beats Sonic, so we got 5 characters left, chat. Just 5 characters. You know the 5. It's the same 5 as last tier list. It's the same top 5. Is it the same order? Who knows? Get your guesses into chat. Of course, if you don't know, the characters are Steve, Sonic, R.O.B, Pika, and Game & Watch. Number 5, we have R.O.B. I think R.O.B is insane. Obviously has a great disadvantage state. It's very hard to juggle him if you aren't a super good sword character or Mr. Game & Watch. He does crazy on stage. He has great combos. He has 0 to deaths. But again, at this point, the reason I put R.O.B lower is because the R.O.Bs aren't hitting the 0 to deaths anymore. I mean, Anathema doesn't play, which, you know, helps that. But the R.O.Bs, the best R.O.Bs aren't hitting the 0 to deaths, so I'm not going to consider them anymore because they don't hit them. And again, it is 6 years into the game. If you're not hitting the fucking 0 to deaths, I'm not going to count them. You should be better. You should be ashamed of yourself for not being able to hit these 0 to deaths. I wish my 0 to deaths were that simple. I wish I didn't have to do a billion different things and a billion different micro adjustments, which I know sometimes you do when you're playing R.O.B, depending on the character. But like, fuck you, privileged ass motherfuckers. They don't do it, so I'm not going to consider it, except for sometimes Atomic. They don't get the 0 to deaths, so I'm not going to consider the 0 to deaths. I'll consider that there's a lot of good stuff with the character. Down tilt is crazy. Down throw up air is crazy. You don't need, you know, the crazy edge guards and the 0 to deaths. He also has one of the best downers in the game. Crazy backer, super strong. I just think the character struggles a little bit too hard with some matchups. I think that, and not even in terms of way of like, oh, but like he's then 0 to deaths him, because they don't. They don't 0 to death them. They don't do it. So it doesn't matter. Yeah, Game Watch is really bad because you're not gonna hit the 0 to death. Cope. I don't know. Maybe all players suck ass. I don't know. And yeah, like we've seen a rise of Bayo. Bayo does very well versus R.O.B. Obviously, I think Fox does well versus R.O.B. I think that Game Watch obviously does very well versus R.O.B. I think there are plenty of characters that are scary versus R.O.B. Even characters like Min Min and Luigi and Kazuya are just like better at getting the 0 to deaths, and he has a big body, so you're gonna get hit sometimes. I think that like R.O.B is a randomly a cheesable character. Obviously, he can cheese people back, but I feel like the game is never over when you're fighting against a R.O.B or as a R.O.B, to be honest. But yeah, I think that R.O.B is number 5. Number 4, we are going to go with Pikachu. I still think Pika's top 5. I think I put him in number 5 last tier list, but I do believe in him a little bit more now because I started camping, and that's really scary. Pika is insane. Obviously, he has a ton of damage. The biggest thing about Pika, though, isn't his damage and isn't his combos, even though those are nice because it helps his actual best aspect, which is the fact that it is so hard to hit him. It's so hard to hit him when you decide not to. Like, I've done it now. I see the light. My mind has been opened. My bald head has expanded and opened in a way that there is now a robot in there and I can camp. I'm not going to camp all the time, but I can camp. Proofs of concept between myself and Shiny Mark recently with camping, and myself back in the day, so you know that the offense of Pikachu is crazy. He has an insanely good matchup spread, right? Like, there's some still definitely matchups I don't like with the character, but, you know, all the worst matchups for Pikachu, right? Game & Watch, Ness, Shiny Marks beat the best reps of those. Well, he hasn't played Mia, but he beat Meister, who has like a 8-0 record with me. He's beat all the Ness players. He has a winning record on all the Ness players. He would still lose to Pac-Man. It's so hard to hit Pika. It is incredibly hard to hit Pika. And then when you like extend in a way that maybe you think you can get a hit, Pikachu does 70. Like, his damage output is insane. So he's able to run away and then suddenly tack on massive amounts of percent. And he has very consistent killing with his dash attack, his Nair down smash, and just his edge trapping is very good with T-Jolt, right? He's not necessarily going to get kills at 110, but he will get a kill from you. Or he will kill you off of his ledge traps pretty consistently. And then if he ever doesn't, he just runs away the rest of the time. He's crazy. Like, up a stock, you know the Pika vibes. It is insane. Which leaves the top 3 for, I believe, what people mostly expect the top 3 to be, which is Game & Watch, Sonic, and Steve in some order. And first off, that is the correct order of the first one. We are talking about Mr. Game & Watch. Character's nuts. Obviously, Mia is the number 2 player in the world at the moment. There are other good Game & Watches, mostly Meister and Monty. Character does too much damage, has the best advantage state in the game, bar none. I think it's like by far, he is the best advantage state in the game. His juggling is the best in the game because his up air and nair are insane. Also Ploopy. Ploopy's doing good. I don't know who Abe is. Also, I think some more people are secondary in Game Watch in Japan. He has an incredibly solid matchups, right? He does lose to a couple characters, right? There are definitely matchups that are struggles for him. Random characters too, like Rosa, Zero Suit, which are not very meta. But he does perfectly fine versus Game & Watch. Sorry, not Game & Watch. He does perfectly fine versus Steve. I think he loses to Sonic, but like it's probably fine. It's just, you know, if Sonic has the lead, it can be hard. But does like really well versus like all the meta, right? In theory, he beats Fox, even though Light's winning recently. He does really well versus R.O.B. He does really well versus Peach. I think he loses to Brawler, but it's probably low-key even. I think he beats Corrin. He loses to Cloud, but then he does very well versus most of the other characters in this top tier. Absolutely. He just does so much damage. His down smash, forward smash is broken. Up smash is a crazy. He has the best set of smash attacks in the game, except maybe Min Min. Thank you, Easy Freezy, for the raid. I appreciate it. I hope your Lumi rank stuff went well. Yeah, like, people have always been like, swords beat Game & Watch, and then he uppers you a single time, and all the sword characters have shit disadvantage states. It's literally universally the worst thing about sword characters is disadvantage, except Cloud, which is why he's one of the best sword characters in the game. And then also, he has, like, top 7, at the very least, edgeguarding in the game, right? It's up there, right? Like, there's definitely characters that are better, like Bayo and Puff and Meta Knight and maybe Pika and definitely Sonic. But like, it's up there, right? It's definitely one of the best edge guards in the game. And even if he doesn't edge guard you, he has like the top 5 at the very least ledge trapping with Chef and F tilt. So stupid. You just go Chef, F tilt, Chef, back air. Does so much damage. Chef, like, he has so many auto-win moves, like characters like, oh, I lose to Game & Watch because of Uppy, or because of Nair, or because of Chef, or because of back air, or because of up air. Like, it's so stupid. It's so... I can't even, I'm not even like, I'm better against Game & Watch now, so it's not even an anti-me thing. Like, I watch Mia and I'm just like, he just hit people and they die. They just die. Everyone dies. The entire world dies to this character. It is insane. And you know who else people die against? A lot of players lose to this next character because he's obviously been one of the best characters for a long time, has had some of the best reps in the world, easily the top of the Lumi rank. Actually, not just the top, but the #1 player of Lumi rank for a long time. Akala. Steve is #2. The reason Steve is #2 is, first off, Sonic is #1. That's spoilers. Steve, more than Sonic, has counterplay. Steve has actual losing matchups. I mean, they're fine. You can just get the nils, but again, people don't nil, so I'm not going to count them, right? I think that my perspective of, oh, in just theory, you should just hit things, like just hit the nils, is unrealistic because they're not. The Steve players still aren't. The best player in the world for a long time, I mean, Akola still maybe is like skill-wise the best player in the world. He just didn't go to as much this season because he's like focusing on school or whatever. So he took a step back. He's still probably the best player in the world. But he doesn't nil. He doesn't do like the best combos that Steve has. And again, if I'm wrong and he actually starts doing that and he starts planking, yeah, I mean, again, in theory, Steve is the best, right? Because he planks and he does a bunch of crazy, super broken stuff. But he has counterplay because he's slow. He's actually slow, and he doesn't have as strong of an advantage state as, honestly, the 2 characters around him, because he doesn't have just like the speed and the jump height, and he doesn't have crazy broken moves. So like when you are out mobilitying Steve, it can be a struggle. Obviously, he has blocks and he has a way to make you approach, but you can just not. He gets all his resources and then you just jump around them. It's fine. Like, there's plenty of actual counterplay to Steve that is objectively very good, and it's not as much guessing. It's a lot more reacting, right? And like, none of the Steve players do nils. And yes, is it in the game? Sure. But at this point in the meta, again, it is 6 years deep. Steve has been out for at least 4, right? They're not doing it, so I don't care about it anymore because they're not doing. Again, I think it's stupid. I think, again, in theory, Steve is the best character in the game, but this isn't a theory tier list. This isn't just a theory tier list. Otherwise, Shulk wouldn't be down here. Again, is he still insane? Yeah. Does he have a bunch of crazy matchups, like crazy good matchups? Is his comeback potential insane? Yeah. He has great edge guarding, less trapping, traps, blocks for edge guards. Crazy. Super good. Super strong. However, Sonic has the best neutral in the game by far. He has some of the best combos in the game. So much damage. His grab is incredible. He's so fast. Obviously, right? It's Sonic. He's so fast. It is insane how fast he is. He has, I think, the best edge guarding in the game because he gets to go so far and then get back to ledge. A lot of times with the other best edge guarders, they like go off stage to try to hit you, and then if they're wrong, they'll like slowly make it to stage and maybe get around, or maybe like get ledge trapped, or maybe they get around the ledge trap, but at the very least it's close. Sonic will go like spin, jump forward air. Oh, I was wrong. Uppy. I'm good. I'm back. Time to ledge trap. His forward air is so good off stage. His back air is so good off stage. Spring is obnoxious. He has a disadvantage state that should be bad, but it's not, right? Because he has good enough air mobility. He has the ability to footstool off of his opponents. He has the ability to landing nair or landing back air or directional air dodge all of a sudden. And if you aren't hitting Sonic as hard as you possibly can every single time he gets put in disadvantage, whether it's from like him spinning or just like you actually hit him, you don't win because he does more damage on hit than most other characters in the game. What's his worst matchup? Fox. Sonic's his beat light. Sonic's is obviously an amazing player. This is not to downplay the skill of the Sonic players. He has a frame 2 air dodge, so he has, you know, he gets out of a bunch of combos. He can also mash up. He has like it doesn't matter out of combos. The only way to beat Sonic is with an incredibly slow, incredibly scary war of attrition because no character does as much, very few characters do as much damage as Sonic does to them. And the two that do, specifically in the matchup, are Pika and Fox, and maybe Samus. But at the same time, those characters are all, surprisingly, more susceptible off stage and in disadvantage than Sonic is, at least in those matchups. Because Sonic also has, by the way, the best two-framing move in the game, or top two-framing move in the game at the very least with forward smash. So it's like, you got hit off stage, bop. Oh, sorry, you can't double jump in disadvantage. Cool, I'm just gonna juggle you because you can't double jump. Oh, you air dodge, landing nair, back air. Also, nair combos into every move in the game. His killing is ridiculous. He's so strong, and then he times you out. 85% of the cast simply gets hit by Sonic once and runs, and you can't do anything if the Sonic doesn't fuck up because of spin shot, because of jump back spin shot. There's so little counterplay to what Sonic wants to do in neutral, in advantage and disadvantage. There's a lot more. Like, Steve is really frustrating because you'd think there's the counterplay and then you randomly got clipped because there was a block behind you and you didn't see it and you got minecart and you got up charge up smash at 75 and you died. That sucks. Sonic, you know the counterplay. You know when you're down 45% against that character, you go, God damn it. Steve, you can make comebacks on. Steve, you can wallet his resources. The only resource that Sonic has is his double jump, and you simply just don't have to use it most of the time. He does well versus every single top tier. He wins both matchups, in my opinion, against the top 3, so he beats Steve, he beats Game & Watch. So in a matchup where it's the other top 3 characters, he wins. He loses to Pika. Pika's way less common, so it doesn't matter. He loses to Fox, but I feel like there's a lot of optimization in the matchup that that the Sonics don't do. And then does well versus Peach, does well versus Brawler, beats Corrin, beats Cloud, beats Roy, probably, beats Sonic, beats Snake, this is probably even, beats Joker, beats Aegis, beats Palu, beats Yoshi. Like, what do you do? And of course, is a lot of this because Sonic's is also insane and grinds a bunch of tiny niche matchups? Yeah, but the fact that more people don't do that is kind of pathetic in terms of the Smash Ultimate scene. And you don't need another character because he does not have, he barely has -1s, and he definitely doesn't have a -2. So like, between all the characters, like, you have to be good at neutral, have a good recovery, be able to keep him in disadvantage. He has so many checkboxes that you have to hit, and also like fast. And if you aren't one of those, you simply lose the matchup and GG's, you lose. Or they fuck up and like SD with homing attack. Akola, the #1 Steve in the world, has studied against Cloud so hard and got shit on by Spargo. To the point where that Akola went Aegis. When do you think Sonic is gonna pick up a secondary? Motherfucker has Sonic in his name. He's not picking up a secondary, he doesn't need it. And again, I like the Sonic matchup personally. I hate it online. It sucks. But I like the Sonic matchup. I have good record. I'm confident versus the Sonic players offline. But I play one of the 2 characters that can say that. Or one of the 3, sorry. Love this Luigi placement. Dude, that's what I said. I literally said when I was recording, I don't know if you were here, I was like, top players understand this over this. Thank you, YouTube. Goodbye, YouTube. Bye-bye.